Okay, hello. So today for the replacement class, so we're gonna have lesson on calculation. So this is more of like a tactical calculation and also some sort of a positional calculation. Okay, so calculation is very important as we all know. So calculation is very important to um, decide whether or not we should capture something or to decide or not whether a certain tactic works. Okay, so tactics comes when we have some idea, right? Some idea of winning a piece or winning a pawn or getting an advantage positionally. Okay, and with those ideas, we have to do our confirmation calculation, right? We have to calculate if that is actually working, right? Sometimes we play our moves out and we realize that, oh, I forgot to calculate that my enemy could give me this check. Not enemy, but my opponent can give me this check. Or that uh, attack on my queen or something like that, right? So those are the reasons why we calculate. Okay, so let's jump right into it. As you can see, chapter 1. Chapter 1 is all about the pawn confrontation, right? So this is the first position we have. It's a queen's gambit decline position where we have d4, d5, and then we go for c4, right? And then it's a decline position, which means that your opponent play the move e6, okay, just declining our free pawn or gambited pawn on c4. Okay, so this position comes up when the two knights are out for white and the other knight is out for black, and black responses with the move c5. Okay, right, c5 on move 4. Okay, and here I would like to ask you to take some time, okay, to figure out what is the best move for white. Okay, so for white now you would say that, oh, this is so stressful, right? Oh, I can take on d5, I can take on c5. What else can I do? If I don't want to have anything to do with the pawns, I can say, oh, I just want to ignore them. I just want to play e3. What else? I just want to play bishop to g5, right? Okay, so take a moment, right? Just think of the best move. Okay, what would you play in this position? All right. Okay, you can even pause the video if you want to have more time than what I'm giving you right now. Okay, so without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay, um, okay. So the move that we have to find is actually c takes d5. Okay, what's the difference, right? What's the difference with all of this, right? You would say that, oh, but I can just take on c5. That's no problem because at the end of the line, okay, at the end of the line, bishop takes, okay, pawn takes, blah blah blah, and e3 and everything's the same. Like it will be the same exact position, sort of, okay. But you realize one significant detail, right? Now you realize that okay, black has already castled, white's king is still out in the center, while the bishop is not yet developed. Okay, so the bishop has to, okay, you have to use one move, okay, and it's black's turn, and one more move. So you need around two moves. Okay, basically literally two moves unless there's some tempi from black. Okay, so literally two moves for white. Okay, and this will be a problem, right? So this is not the best. Okay, what's the difference with c takes d5, right? Let's take a look at it. So c takes d5. Okay, we have c takes d4. Okay, trying to get the tempo on our knight. Okay, so that we respond with the move queen takes d4. Okay, queen takes is important, right? Because we want to get our queen out in the center here a little bit. Okay, it might seem a little bit sort of like not correct to bring your queen out so early, but you don't have to worry about any attacks because the pawn is still here, right? Okay, so there is no attack from the knight, and there's no way to really chase the queen around. Okay, so here e takes d5 will be played, and you will realize that, oh, sorry. So you realize that this is almost the exact position where we played e3. Correct, no? We play e3 and we do whatever we want, right? Okay, but here, okay, here is a totally different position. It's a totally different position because it's our turn. And we can already play the move bishop g5, having a double attack on the knight, and he's forced to play um, bishop e7. That's probably the only move, right? Okay, so okay, for example, for those who are wondering, what happens if knight to c6 is played? Okay, knight to c6, you can simply play bishop takes, and you are attacking the queen. So he has no time to play knight takes. Okay, so this is something we don't have to worry about. For example, let's say something else is played, something random. Let's just play some uncle move here, and already we have bishop takes, queen takes, queen takes, messing up the pawn structure. And would black want to castle this? Like probably no, right? Okay, so now we go all the way back here. Okay, all the way back here where queen takes d4 is played, pawn takes, and we can actually play bishop g5. Yes, we already talked about this, and also bishop e7, and he's going to get ready to castle, right? Okay, so here we can already play the move e3, and now you realize that okay, you look at the pawn structure is really nice for white, and also you have a nice developing move for the bishop as well. Okay, we see the difference now. The difference now is he's castling, and now we only need one move. Okay, and already we have some pressure on the position. You see the difference now? Okay, so all of this has to be calculated, right? We have to calculate from here onwards. Okay, if pawn takes, okay, I have to consider, sorry, it's not pawn takes. If pawn takes, you have the other way around. Okay, bishop takes maybe. Okay, pawn takes, bishop takes, and then what else? Okay, then maybe I can take his pawn, and he'll probably take back with what? With the pawn, and okay, maybe something like this, and then you will feel a little bit uneasy with the fact that your bishop is sort of stuck. Okay, something like this might run into some issues with a queen here, right? A little bit uncomfortable, I would say. Okay, so this line you will realize that it's not so good, right? Let's take a look at instead of that, let's take a look at e3, right? Okay, so e3 is actually playable. It's actually the second best move. Okay, but the engine will give you that c takes d5 instead, gives you an extra point two, okay, for white. Okay, and this gives you less by 0.2. Yeah, exactly, right? So here, um, instead of taking anything in the center, okay, black would simply respond with knight to c6, another sort of keeping the tension, right? We're not dealing with this yet, okay, right? So, and all of this would continue to be sort of like a long theoretical game, but we're not going to we're not going to dive right into so much theory right now. Okay, but we are talking more about calculation, right? Talking more about calculation. Where after this, let's calculate something more forcing, like forcing lines like this, and e takes would be best. Yeah, e takes would be best, and maybe bishop here. Okay, pawn takes, and everything is good, right? If it's gonna take that, you would just say, oh, thanks. Okay, and now already queen here, and everything's fine. Okay, all right. So no issues here. Okay, so okay, of course you wouldn't take that. You would probably take with the knight, and already you can even play queen c2. You can even play bishop b2. You can even play bishop b3. Sorry, queen b3, and everything is good. Don't play queen here because it just doesn't do anything, right? Okay, and if you go here, he will probably just take your piece away, and you just lose a bishop. Not really lose the bishop, but sort of lose your precious bishop to the knight. Okay, all right. So all of these are a little bit hopeless, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna move on to the next chapter. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next chapter. What's the next chapter? It's which bishop. Okay, this is more of like a puzzle. Okay, I want you to think for a while. Two of the bishops are hanging here. It's black to play, and this is actually a game from by one of my students. And in the game, he actually captured the wrong bishop. Okay, so this is something very important. Okay, sorry. Um, so take some time. Okay, you can pause the video just to think about the move. I'll give you some time to think of the move. Which bishop is the right bishop to take? Okay, and if you take this bishop, why is this better than this? Okay, if you take this bishop, why is it better than taking this bishop? Okay, just be very, very precise and detailed with your explanation while you solve these puzzles, these positions. Okay, so if you had the chance to pause the video, so I will just move on with the video now with the lesson. Okay, and the correct answer is actually bishop takes or g4. Okay, so what's the difference you may ask? Okay, let's look at the first line first. Why not bishop takes? Why not rook takes? G7. Okay, of course you're winning a bishop. Okay, but already you can see that oh you are supposed to win the bishop. You are supposed to get one because he's probably just captured something. Probably just captured a knight here, something like that, right? Because he has two bishops, you only have one. So you should know that in the game, white has just captured something of yours. Okay, probably okay, maybe there was something here, something like that. Okay, and the opponent actually thought that oh, this was an intermezzo, right? It's like oh, I could take something else other than just an in between move that he can do other than just taking back your bishop or something like that. Okay, so here in this game, the best move would be to play bishop takes g4. Simply because if we play rook takes g4, you already can calculate the forcing line, which is bishop takes and f takes, c takes, and um, c takes back, right? So nothing much going on, right? So you have an open file, that's right. Okay, but you have some weaknesses, is double uh, pawns, right? Double pawns and so I don't know, it is isolated double pawns actually, right? So these are pretty bad and pretty weak targets, right? It's a very good target for white, of course, but it's a very bad thing to hold. Okay, very bad pawns to keep. Okay, and that is why we actually have some tactics here actually, right? The tactic was to realize that the rook was actually standing at the king, and this pawn is actually a pinned pawn. But you would ask, coach, but there's 2 pawns here. Sorry, there are two bishops here in the way. Okay, that is why we have to play bishop takes. This leaves the other bishop hanging, and he has to voluntarily move it away. Okay, for example, the best move would be to play bishop e5. Okay, but a lot of players would go wrong and blunder the game with bishop to bishop takes pawn. Okay, bishop takes pawn. Your opponent would be like, oh, why not get an extra pawn after this? I can just undouble my pawns and I'm winning in the end game, something like that, right? Because now we realize that white is actually up 2 pawns, okay, after taking this pawn, of course. Okay, so now when white blunders, there is a move that you have to fight. So this is not a pause the video moment. Okay, just pause the video and think of the move. Right, I'll give you 5 seconds. Or you can just pause the video and get like 1 hour if you want to. Yeah, I think the answer is pretty straightforward. The idea is just the rook is in front of the king, the pawn is pinned, and that only your bishop is blocking this pin. So what you have to do is just remove it, right? That's all you have to think about, right? You are in control of the pin on the pawn here. Alright? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is not bishop f3. Okay, it looks great, but simply g3 and there is no follow-up. Okay, I think some of you might have tried this. Okay, the answer is bishop to h3. What's the difference? Of course, g3. Yes, the rook is hanging. Right, let me put it in red color. Right, the rook is hanging. The rook is hanging. Okay, right, and now you just gobble up the rook. That's all. Right, simple as that. Okay, so here the best move would be to play. Best move for white is to play bishop e5, and now if you play this, then he has the move bishop to g3, and now you can already think of some ideas like this. Okay, but it doesn't really work. Okay, wait, does it actually work? Let me see. Does it actually work? Okay, so it actually doesn't work simply because he just takes your bishop, right? Okay, he simply takes your bishop because remember, the bishop is already blocking the king, right? So it doesn't work. So all you have to do is just drop the bishop back, basically. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we will move on to the next one. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, what is the next chapter? Next chapter is about potentially hanging. That's the title of the chapter. Potentially hanging, right? So here, the ideas that we can see, okay, what does potentially hanging mean? Okay, it means that something is going to be hanging on the next move probably, or after 2 moves that you can play or an idea that you can use, okay, the piece is going to be hanging. Okay, so how to find these tactics are, number one, look for undefended pieces. Okay, undefended pieces, the bishop is undefended. That's one idea. Okay, and another way to look at it is singly defended pieces. What does that mean? A piece that is defended by a single piece. Okay, what are the pieces? Give me an answer. What are the pieces that are singly defended? Okay, the rook, we just ignore that. The rook is way too far. It is defended once only. Okay, what about the other rook? The other rook is of course defended so many times, 3 times to be exact. Okay, how about the other? No, how about the bishop? It's undefended. That's the first category we looked at. Okay, how about the queen? The queen is defended twice, so it's not a singly defended piece. Okay, the pieces, yes, that are singly defended are the knight and the other knight. Okay, so let's take a look at this knight. Is there anything we can do about this knight? So of course we can see that, okay, when we want to attack a piece that is defended once, okay, of course we need to have an attacker on it first, right? We have to have something that is already looking at the knight so that we can capture the knight when the queen is forced to move away, for example. For example, if we try to deflect the queen or something, and then we can eat it with the bishop, that would be great, right? But now, there is actually nothing that we can do to this knight. Okay, there's actually nothing that we can do to this knight. Even if we play this move, you can simply just trade, and you actually lose a pawn, by the way. Okay, so nothing good, nothing special. Okay, let's take a look at the other knight, right? The other knight actually has a trap. What is the trap? Okay, is any pieces attacking this knight? Is anything attacking this knight indirectly or directly? Okay, directly there's no pieces attacking the knight. Nothing is literally attacking it right now, but there is an indirect attack. Indirect means there is something in between that is sort of attacking the knight. So you can already see that, oh, okay, so this is simply, but it's still defended by the pawn, right? So you'd be like, okay, it is sort of attack, but I'm not giving up my queen for the knight, right? Okay, so now the idea comes where you will start calculating whether there is an idea. Okay, you start the ideation first. Can I remove the defender? Okay, and then you will start thinking, okay, maybe it's knight takes. Yes, I win the knight. No. Unfortunately, the answer is no. Okay, why? Because after the move bishop takes and the knight is still undefended, there's just knight back. Everything is defended. Okay, of course you can say blah 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 blah. Right? A little bit, yeah, you know. Okay, maybe there are some lines like this, but we're not going so far into that. Also, there are some sacrifices here, which, oh, that is nasty. You're gonna get checkmated pretty soon. Okay, and that is very very bad for you here right now. Even something like bishop takes. Okay, not even bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes, and queen takes, and this is just mate, by the way. Okay, so we're not going so far. We are going to look back at the line. The line is we tested knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and there's just this knight running away, being defended by the bishop. Okay, and there's still nothing you can do about this knight. There's still nothing you can do about this undefended bishop. Okay, so how do we come up with the idea, and how do we get the right idea, and how do we solve this position? Okay, so you would say that, okay, the idea is definitely to remove the defender of the knight. Okay, but my knight has to move. Okay, so you realize that, okay, just now we used the knight and then it discovered the queen's attack onto the knight, but then this was insufficient because we were too early. The other pawn came, right? So the move that you had to find is bishop takes pawn. Now you might say that, oh, what if knight takes? No, you still have your queen, doesn't matter, right? And your queen is still attacking the knight. Okay, so the idea is bishop takes pawn, pawn takes bishop, and knight takes pawn. Now do you see the problem? Two pieces are hanging, and there is literally no way you can save the position. There's no way to save both of them. So if you want to save this piece, you lose this piece. Okay, of course it's defended, and you also lose your queen, so that's not something you want to do. So probably what you have to do is just, I don't know, just give up, resign. Okay, so maybe just save the bishop. Okay, some of you might say that, oh, I'm gonna eat the bishop. No, you lose the queen. Okay, so that doesn't work, or it might actually work, sorry, because this is another fork. So that is how complicated the position is, but it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work because it comes with check. So this is calculation, right? This is calculation in chess, right? You have to really realize how important calculation is so that you can improve your games, right? If you just simply play one move threats, for example, in this position, I'm going to play one move threats. I'm attacking the knight. I'm good at chess. Bye bye. Your attack is gone. Knight takes is fine. What else? I think knight takes is okay, right? I'm not blundering anything. Yeah, I'm not blundering anything. So, okay, maybe I am blundering something. We are not so sure. Just a line that I saw. Okay, or even just knight here should be fine. Just stopping any queen here. Okay, any queen here. No queen here anymore. Okay, so all of these are coming from calculation. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the next lesson, which is on the topic of discovery and overloading. Okay, overloading. What is it about? Huh? What is it about? Overloading. Okay, overloading. So When we take a look at this position, I want you to look again at any pieces that are undefended first, singly defended, or even doubly defended, okay, or ones that are defended by pawns only. You can do all of those calculations, right? You can do all of those sort of checklists, right? We check first which piece is undefended. The knight is undefended. That's straightforward. That's the one that's right in front of our eyes, right? So is anything undefended? No, the queen is defending the rook. Everything is defended. Once, twice, three times, four times. So no big deal. The bishop is fine. The knight is of course defended twice by 2 pawns, so it's okay. What else? The rook is defended once, twice. Don't forget the other rook. So everything is okay, right? Okay. So now what we can already see is this knight is undefended. So some tactics we can think about is, okay, how do I attack this knight um, and win it? Okay, so I had my student go through this actually today. Okay, one of my students, they said bishop to c5. Okay, no, not bishop c5. Play bishop to e5. Okay, and I'm like, okay, but that doesn't actually win you the knight. That doesn't win you the knight because it doesn't have a strong enough tempo to get the knight. Okay, of course you can probably win a pawn, right? The pawn here is nice, maybe, yeah. Okay, but it doesn't do anything, right? You have to just go all the way back again, and now this is a problem. Okay, this will become a problem, right? And here you can already feel that, oh, I might have made a mistake. No, you cannot deflect the queen because he has the rook to take, or even the knight. Okay, so none of this works. Okay, this doesn't work. So already you can see that, okay, these tempos aren't actually tempos because the knight can simply run. Okay, all you need is a very strong tempo. Okay, a tempo can be a check, can be a threat of checkmate, can be capturing a piece, or can be a threat on the queen. So let's go first. Does this bishop has any discoveries? Any discoveries that can give a check to the king? No, nothing, right? Okay, or if you want to say, okay, I can play bishop here, then I can attack this. No, there's nothing going on there, right? There's nothing going on there because simply just blah blah blah. All right, okay, there's nothing really going on. Okay, maybe you can say that, oh, there's some tactics here, here, and here, but no, nothing is going on. There's actually nothing going on. Okay, right? So you have to put aside all of those thoughts and play accurate chess, right? Accurate chess meaning you want to discover your queen's attack on the knight, so you have to discover the queen's attack on the knight with this strong bishop's discovery, right? A tempo, which means that you have to play the move bishop takes knight. Simple as that. Just capture a piece, right? Most players, they would be like, oh, I'll just trade the knight. That's all, and they don't even realize that the knight is hanging. Okay, right? So find the tactics first, then decide what to play. Not play first and see what happens, and then you hang a bishop and you hang everything and stuff like that. Not like that. Okay, right? So take the bishop first, take the knight first. Okay, and now it's a tempo. You have a tempo. He has to capture a bishop back or run the knight. He already lost the knight, so he has to capture back. Let's say he captures back, then now you can already go for the knight. Okay, of course you will say that, oh, he has this tactic, so of course your opponent will actually play the move bishop takes g4. Okay, very complicated, huh? So very complicated. Okay, bishop takes g4, and now if you take here, he's simply going to capture your bishop. So there is an intermezzo or an in-between move that you must play here. Okay, whenever you face this, you want to capture the knight. Yes, you are able to capture the knight now, but you can throw in another move. You know that after capturing this knight, he's going to capture your bishop, right? Correct? Okay, so what you have to play here is bishop takes pawn. Why not just win an extra pawn while playing, while doing whatever you want, because you have a chance to do so. Okay, but this is not the best. There's an even better move. Bishop takes the other pawn. King here, and you get it with a check. Okay, and let's say black does something stupid. For example, here, already, pawn takes, everything is hanging. Okay, if he blunders, okay, maybe I should leave this a blunder, but it's okay, I don't have the time now. Okay, for example, something like this. Okay, maybe, okay, maybe not here. Something like, yeah, we don't even have to take that, we can already win it. Remember, our queen is defending, our knight is defending the queen, so all is good. So now we actually just want a whole piece. Okay, right? So this was the position where we look at the aspect of where there is a discovery, there is an overloading. Okay, overloading simply because everything is sort of loose. Okay, right? The bishop is of course attacking this. Okay, but white is sort of overloaded with the number of things that he has to do. He has to capture the knight. He has to capture the sorry. He has to capture your bishop. He has to save his knight. So it's not really an overloading of a single piece, but it's overloading of what white has to do. Okay. All right. So now we jump into our second last position, which is the hidden discovery. Okay. What is this? Sounds very interesting. Okay. The hidden discovery. Okay. This one is a little bit tricky. Okay. I'll give you some time to spot this. A little bit of time to spot this. It's I can give you some clues. The clues are bishop looking at h7. Okay, queen here controls the whole um, rank here. And okay, you can also consider this, but it's not the most important information. I'm just gonna sort of help you get the answer. The knight is here. The knight is here. It's guarding. It's guarding these squares, these squares, these squares. What else? This square. Nothing much. Okay, and you are kind of worried about bishop here in some lines. If, for example, I don't know, something like f5. Okay, it doesn't look good, but that's just weakening the backwards pawn, creating a backwards pawn here. Okay, but that's just an idea. For example, let's say we play something uncle. Let's say here, and then I go back here, and already here. This is a little bit annoying, right? Okay, this bishop gets a little bit annoying. You have to play on the light squares only, except this square, of course. To stay on the light squares, and this bishop might stay here for quite a while. Okay, right? Okay, maybe this is not the best. It's just an idea I'm saying because there's simply knight here and you just lose a piece. Okay, not really lose a piece. You still can defend it, but it's terrible. Okay, it's not what black wants. He doesn't want to lose his dark square bishop. Okay, so there's something you have to calculate as well. Okay, so here the move is actually c3. Okay, maybe sorry if I just surprised you with the answer. Okay, without any warning. Right, so so the move is actually c3. So it's a fork, correct? But you would say, no, I could just take the pawn, right? Exactly. Your opponent can take the pawn. That's good. That's good for you, because now you're gonna play the move knight takes bishop, not because you want to trade bishops, because you want him to take your bishop. And now do you remember the queen is guarding this whole uh, rank? What can you do? Isn't this a pin? Isn't this a discovery for you? So what move can you play here? I give you 5 seconds. Okay, maybe 10 seconds to solve this position, right? So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bishop takes h7 with check. Simple discovery, right? You're not talking about the bishop, you're talking about the queen that is undefended on c3. Okay, so this might be quite easy, right, for those who are more experienced or those who have seen these positions before. So this is actually very, very fast and very, very it's a very, very quick puzzle for you, right? You can spot it instantly, probably, right? So what you have to do is remember, like the position we saw before, that the bishop had to move with a tempo. So this is the strongest tempo, a check. Okay, and black is actually forced to move or forced to capture the bishop, and now you simply just win the queen, and you're up a whole queen. Like it doesn't matter, it's a bishop versus queen, you are definitely winning the game. Okay, all right. So now we go to the last but not least. Okay, and position 6 is titled Bye Bye Defender. Yes, Bye Bye Defender. Okay, so now this position, I would like you to take a look at what pieces are being attacked um, by the same piece. Okay, white is actually attacking two pieces at a time, where um, if a certain piece is captured, the other piece will be hanging, for example, or either one of the pieces or both of the pieces will be hanging if something is played, right? So what we can do here is we can take a look at this position as from the start. Okay, we don't want to move for knight, maybe Okay, I'm just kidding. So if we move on knight, then we have to consider some ideas of knight here, but at the moment there's nothing. For example, you can play something like this. You would say, oh, this is a good move. Very good move. Bishop takes. Okay, but then simply like here, a rook here would be fine. There's nothing going on, and it doesn't work, right? Okay. So now what we have to do is also we have to consider this. I forgot to tell you this. The pawn is hanging with check. Okay, so now you have to find a move that stops this check. Okay, while also while also removing the defender of at least two pieces. Okay. Now how we do it is we are going to take a look at what piece is defending at least two pieces. Okay, so we start with the king, of course. There's one piece that is defending at least two pieces. There's three pieces here. How about the rook? The rook is only defending one, and we don't count the king, of course. We're not going to count the king, right? It's defending one at least. Okay, one only, sorry. Okay, this is only defending one, and two not really important. The pawn can be neglected here, so it's only defending one. How about the knight? The knight is basically defending a pawn. We don't want to look at that. We want to look at a piece that's defending at least two pieces, right? Not pawns, okay? So it can be a pawn that's defending two pieces or a piece that's defending two pieces. All right? So how about the queen? The queen is only defending pawn, so we're not going to look at that. This is also defending pawn and only one piece. So how about pawns? Pawns doing nothing. Pawns doing nothing. Pawns doing nothing. Pawns doing what is this? Something. Okay, that didn't turn out good, but so now we can start to think of this idea, right? If the pawn was not here, I could gobble up the rook, not the knight. He will simply just eat you. Okay, remember you are targeting the rook now. Okay, and I have to find a move that can eat this pawn and also defend this pawn. So when you look at this, what what pattern does this remind you of? It looks like a knight pattern, correct? Right? Or you can look at it this way. Okay, the move is actually knight takes f5. You are defending the check here. Okay, if he takes, you just simply take the rook. Thank you. And I got a free pawn as well. Right? Okay, so here, what you have to play is, okay, oh, sorry. Here, you can even take, oh, sorry. Here, right, like this. Okay, yeah, it's a check, so you have to play this. Okay, so here, okay, black is without a move, sort of. Okay, black is without a move, literally without any move. Okay, if you take the rook, thank you. Right, and this one is no longer attacked, only by the bishop, of course, and this knight is hanging. You cannot play knight here simply because queen takes. Okay, you have to run one of the pieces, right? That's almost an impossible task, correct? Okay, so maybe a move that you have to play is something like this. Okay, and unfortunately for black, white can actually simply just run away and just ignore the whole attack. Okay, you're not gonna take this probably. Okay, simply because of queen here, and okay, you can actually do that. Okay, but then it's kind of yeah, you get what I mean. It's kind of okay, so maybe here and you get destroyed. Okay, it's almost checkmate, so I don't think you want to take the rook. You simply want to just run away. Okay, right? So the move is knight takes f5, and here probably he can play something like this, and he will still lose a piece. Okay, so that's the whole idea of this move, right? You have to realize that, okay, if this, then I actually can go back. Of course, I can go back wherever I want, but there's too much pressure on this one. Remember, after you move the knight, one, two, three attackers. How many defenders? Two defenders. You're gonna lose this fight. Okay, he's gonna just bam, and you're gonna lose the queen if you don't take the rook, correct? And he will still do this to you, and you will get destroyed. Okay, all right. Okay, so that was the lesson for today. Okay, we have touched on the 6 topics, which is pawn confrontation, which bishop to capture, which one first, which one second, okay, or which one only we can capture because the other one will run away, okay, or potentially hanging pieces, and also discovery and overloading of the position, not just a piece, okay, and also hidden discovery where discovery can be prepared by forking something. Okay, the forking piece was the pawn in our previous position. Okay, the forking piece was here, 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 and then we prepared our discovery. Okay, and for the last position, it was about bye-bye defender, right? We're going to remove a defender that is overloaded again. He's overloaded, defending two pieces. If we remove this piece, we simply win the piece. Okay, all right. So, yep, that's all for today's lesson. I will see you again when I see you. Okay, bye-bye and take care. Okay.